The roar of 20 motorcycles shattered the stillness of the small town street, their chrome gleaming under the afternoon sun. People stopped in their tracks, kids pressed against the glass of candy shops, and the rumble echoed like thunder rolling across the pavement. At the center of it all stood a single dad, hands calloused from years of hard work, holding a grocery bag in one arm and his little daughter's hand in the other. He wasn't a man who sought attention. In fact, he hated it. But fate had a way of drawing eyes to him, especially when his past, the one he tried to bury, wouldn't let go so easily. The bikers surrounded him, 20 powerful machines closing in like a storm circle. Their leader, a tall, leather-clad woman with piercing green eyes and a reputation as fierce as her riding, swung off her bike. The crowd whispered nervously, everyone knew this gang. They weren't criminals, but they weren't the kind you wanted to cross either. People feared their presence as much as they admired it. Yet something was different this time. As her boots hit the pavement, her eyes locked on the man's forearm, where a faded Marine Corps tattoo stretched across his weathered skin. And just like that, she froze. The veteran noticed her stare but didn't flinch. He wasn't intimidated, he had faced darker storms on foreign soil, carrying burdens heavier than the roaring engines now surrounding him. His daughter tugged gently at his sleeve, her innocent voice breaking the tension. "Daddy, are they going to hurt us?" His heart clenched at her fear. He bent down, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "Not while I'm here, baby girl. Not ever." The leader of the bikers, still silent, finally found her voice. It cracked, not with anger, but with something deeper. Recognition. You wore that in Fallujah, didn't you?" Her words silenced the murmurs around them. The veteran's jaw tightened, memories flashing like gunfire in his mind. He nodded slowly, saying nothing. The crowd didn't know what to make of it, but the bikers did. Because she wasn't just a leader, she was a survivor. And the tattoo he carried wasn't just ink. It was a mark of brotherhood, of sacrifice, of shared blood spilled in deserts far away. Her tough exterior melted as she stepped closer. "You saved me once," she whispered. "In that alley. You dragged me out when the RPG hit. I never knew your name." Tears glistened in her eyes, the weight of unspoken gratitude choking her voice. The veteran blinked, struggling to place her face beneath the helmet, the years, the scars time had painted. But then he saw it, the faint scar along her jawline. The memory struck like lightning. He had carried her bleeding body on his shoulders through the smoke, swearing she'd make it. He never thought he'd see her again. The crowd's unease shifted into awe as the leader, once feared, dropped her guard completely and wrapped her arms around him. The engines idled, their thunder softening to a hum of respect. The daughter, confused but curious, looked up at the woman hugging her father. "Daddy, who is she?" The veteran's voice was soft, steady. "Someone I never thought I'd see again. Someone who reminds me why we never give up." Over the next few minutes, the tension dissolved into something extraordinary. The bikers dismounted, circling not to threaten but to shield a man and his daughter who had given so much, who carried his wounds quietly in a world too quick to judge. For the first time in years, the veteran felt something stir in his chest. Belonging. But life hadn't been kind to him since he returned. His wife had left, unable to cope with his nightmares and the weight of raising a child together. He struggled with work, often taking 2 jobs to keep the lights on. Nights were long, haunted by echoes of the battlefield. Days were harder, filled with judgmental stares from people who saw only a broken man. Yet here, surrounded by 20 women who knew the meaning of loyalty and scars, he didn't feel broken. He felt seen. The leader made a vow then and there, in front of everyone watching. "From now on, you're not standing alone. You fought for us, for all of us. Now we fight for you." And they did. They helped repair his old pickup that barely ran. They organized fundraisers to ease the burden of bills. They watched his daughter when shifts ran late. And most importantly, they reminded him that being strong didn't mean being silent, it meant letting others carry the weight when it grew too heavy. The veteran's story spread beyond the small town. Videos of the moment, bikers surrounding a single dad, then breaking into tears of respect at the sight of his tattoo, went viral. But more than the views or the headlines, it was the message that resonated: true strength is forged in sacrifice, but healing is found in community. Months later, as he stood at his daughter's school play, surrounded by those same bikers who had once seemed like shadows but now felt like family, he finally smiled with a peace he hadn't known since the battlefield. His daughter beamed on stage, waving at him proudly. The roar of motorcycles outside signaled not fear, but protection. Not isolation, but unity. And as you watch this story unfold, remember this: heroes don't always wear capes, and families aren't always bound by blood. Sometimes, they are forged in fire, found in the most unexpected places, and carried forward on two wheels and a promise. If this story moved you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because stories like this remind us that even in the darkest battles, light can find us again, and when it does, it changes everything.